All right, so welcome. It's our therapeutic or chair class this morning. And it's Easter as I'm recording, it's Easter Monday as I'm recording this class. And last week, our theme was around rest, around making sure that we really honor our body's need for rest and rejuvenation. And today, talking about once we've kind of allowed our bodies to rest and to give them nourishment that they need, whether that's sleep or food or whatever it is that nourishes us, that we feel a sense of more aliveness, right? So spring really reminds us of this sense of aliveness. In the fall, it seems like everything kind of dies and goes to sleep. And in the spring, everything wakes up. And most cultures have festivals that go along with this theme of resurrection, of rising in the spring. And here we are practicing that with our yoga today. So we'll really be tapping into what is our source of energy? Where does our energy come from? And how do we express that? Um, but coming, of course, always from this place of if we're not relaxed, if we're tense and tight, if we haven't done the rest or the relaxation or the letting go first, then it's hard to feel our true essential energy. Right. So letting go of the tension first, which is what we worked with last week, and then how do we find our aliveness out of that? So we're going to start sitting as we always do in this class, sitting on a chair, or if you prefer, the floor is totally fine. And we'll go from there. So finding a comfortable seat and make sure that you're sitting on your sit bones, the two bones at the bottom of your pelvis. And this is really important. Um, Most of the time we slouch, right? We kind of sit back. And when we do, and you can even try this now, if you round your back a bit and let your pelvis roll back, you'll feel that your weight moves more onto your tailbone or sacrum. And as you sit up, the weight comes off your tailbone or sacrum. The tailbone is the very bottom part of the spine. The sacrum widens out at the back of the hips. And when we sit on either of these 2 points by slouching, the effect goes all the way up the spine. Right? So if you're feeling tension in your back, check with how you're sitting. And we spend a lot of time sitting, so making sure that when we are sitting, that we're sitting in a way that honors and respects our body is so key to having that energy and vitality. So in yoga, they call this vital energy prana, and prana has many sources. So we think of prana, it actually is often interpreted as breath. And of course, the breath nourishes us, it gives us energy, it relaxes us, and we look at that a lot in the classes. But prana can also come from the food that we eat. Right? So we eat good, nourishing food, it nourishes our cells, and we have a lot of energy. We eat crap or sugar, too much sugar, um, or other junk foods that are empty calories, we feel low energy. So I invite you to find your sit bones. If you like, you can close your eyes. And tune into your breath as a source of nourishment. Drawing the breath in and letting the breath go. So there's no need to create any effort with your breath here. Just feeling this source of nourishment as we breathe in the oxygenated blood as it flows from the lungs in heart, goes through the body. And that's feeding our cells. So when we hold the breath or we breathe in a shallow way, we're not getting that same kind of nourishment from the breath. So take a moment, and you can even imagine if it helps you as you breathe in, a little bits of oxygenated blood flowing through your system, feeding your body. Feel your roots go deep down from your sit bones through your chair or cushion into the earth. As you breathe, feel a sense of expansion, maybe a little lifting, opening. So we've been working with this plant theme for a few weeks, that same idea of going into the earth, getting nourishment from the earth, finding your breath, lifting and expanding with your breath, and tuning into that universal expansive energy, the spring energy. It's not only the breath that we breathe and the thoughts that we, or the food that we eat, but also the thoughts that we think can energize us or deplete us of energy. So if we're constantly looking at what's negative, what could happen bad in our lives, it really sucks our energy. And when we can look forward with hope and anticipation, when we can enjoy the moment as it is right now, when we can really settle and be with what is, this actually gives us energy. So take a moment now, and there's absolutely no judgment. If your mind is full of negativity today, try to simply notice that without creating more negativity by pushing it away. Notice that, and maybe notice the effect that it has on your energy. And if you can tune into positivity, to hope, to being content, notice how that feels in your system. So really tuning into what is, whatever is, and checking in with how it feels in your system. So one way we wake up energy in the body is to move the body. And we'll start with some simple cat-cow or extension and flexion of the spine. And really small movements to begin with. So a little lift, so a little lift in the heart, breathing in, and then slight rounding, maybe just even drawing the head down as you exhale. And then inhale, and a little lift, exhale, rounding. And if it feels good for you as your body warms up to this movement, you might exaggerate the movement a little bit more. So rounding a little more, drawing the shoulders back to get a little more extension and lift in the heart. Following your own rhythm. So if coordinating with your breath feels uncomfortable, just do the movement. Really tune in and breathe at whatever pace is comfortable for you. And as you're inhaling or lifting the spine this time, you can also lift the arms, bend the elbows as much as you need to. Add a forward bend, so let your body come forward over your legs, head coming down, chest toward the thighs, and then lifting. Again, if you're coordinating breath, breathing in as you lift, exhaling as you come forward. Make this the last one, and as you come forward, if it feels right for you, you can go ahead and stay there. Maybe your elbows or your hands on your legs, maybe your chest on your thighs, arms hanging down, whatever is comfortable for you. Take a few breaths here. And then as you're ready, if you come all the way forward, you might bring your hands to your knees first, lift up, and then lifting the arms up. And this time we'll make a big circle, stretching the arms out to the side, slowly lowering them down. We'll bring the hands together and lift. It's almost like you're this little bud reaching up from the ground. Breathing in as you reach up and exhaling as you open. Inhaling, press down with your sit bones, reach up with your hands and send your energy outward, creating a kind of space with the energy around you. your energy has a color today, and imagine this color surrounding you as you do a few more of these nice big open arm movements, spreading the arms to the sides, coming back to the center. Okay. And next time you bring your arms down, we're going to take the arms back. So you can hold the seat of your chair or the back of your chair. If you happen to be sitting on the ground, you can just hold the arms or even interlace your fingers behind you. Just find a way of comfortably creating a little more space across the chest. Draw your shoulders down. And let the breath move into this space across the chest, across the collarbones, down into the belly if that's comfortable for you. Feeling this expansiveness. We're still exhaling fully each breath, but putting a little more emphasis on the inhale now. Breathing into that space all around the upper chest. And then we'll lift the arms out to the sides. You'll bring them across the chest. Cross your arms over. Bring your hands to opposite shoulders and let your shoulders relax down. You can lower your head a little bit. And take some breaths where you imagine the back space of your body. So the shoulder blade area in between your shoulder blades along the upper back. You're breathing into that space now, creating some space, some energy, some movement in the upper back. Continuing a few more breaths here. Okay, and then let's open the arms wide. And keep your elbows a little bit bent. Draw the shoulders back. And then bring the hands together and maybe the elbows together if that's available to you. And then we'll open, breathing in, and then hands and elbows coming towards each other. You can exhale as you come to this closed position. Inhale as you open, or as always, just breathe normally. Do the movement at a pace that's comfortable while you breathe, also at a pace that's comfortable. Okay, let's take the arms out to the sides now and stretch the arms wide, palms down. And we'll rotate the hands toward the ceiling and then back. So the shoulders, the whole arms rotating open and back. So there's an external rotation, opening of the chest and the shoulders, and then internal rotation, the shoulders roll forward. Okay. If your shoulders or arms feel at all strained, lower and do the same thing. And then give the arms a shake. Let's bring the hands in front and do some circles for the wrists. So we're waking up energy through movement. And these gentle movements are so effective in waking up the movement and the energy in the body, but also lubricating the joints. So the more we move the joints in a gentle, supportive way, the more we get that nice, easeful lubrication. And never forcing. Forcing is really counterproductive. Let's bring the hands together now so you can interlace your fingers. And then gently press the palms away from your shoulders down, stretching the wrists and hands a little bit. And then bring the hands back in. And we're going to interlace the fingers the opposite way. So you're going to undo and then redo with the opposite finger, opposite thumb on top, and same thing. Pressing the hands away, shoulders down, neck long. And release, and again, circle the wrists one way and the other. You can do this with your hands in gentle fists or open hands. Maybe try it each way and see what feels best. Give them a little shake again. Okay, come back to sit for a moment. Let your hands rest on your thighs. You can close your eyes if you like, and take a moment to notice. We just worked a lot with the shoulders, the arms, the upper chest, upper back. And see if you can notice any sense of energy moving in that part of your body. So I feel it as a kind of gentle, light tingling, like almost effervescence in my arms and shoulders. You might feel it differently. You might not feel energy at all. You might just feel kind of solid in that area. So it's really just about paying attention and noticing, not that you feel a particular way. Right, so let's take the arms up to the sides again. Turn the palms up. We're going to bend the arms and bring the hands to the shoulders. The hands can just sit here on the shoulders. Elbows can be lower or as high as parallel to the ground. You don't want to go higher. You start to bring the shoulders up. And then from here, we use the core to exhale and go one direction. Inhale to the center. Exhale the other way. Inhale, center. So when we use the core to do the movement, we're much less likely to go too far than when we sort of press the hands against the legs and or the chair or the floor and use leverage. So with that, a little bit of a caution in mind, I'm going to invite you to bring, as you go to one side, bring the hand to that side to the chair or ground, and the other hand can come to rest on your thigh or your knee, and we're not pushing, right? So the hand behind you is helping to grow your spine tall, and the hand on the leg is just resting there. You can turn your head to look behind you if you like, let the chin come down a little toward the shoulder if that feels comfortable, and keep lifting your spine tall as you breathe. Great. Let's come back around to the center. The opposite hand will come behind you to the chair or the floor. You're going to use that to lift your spine tall. The other hand comes to your thigh or your knee, and you're turning to look behind you. Keep lifting the spine long. Chin can slightly lower down toward your shoulder. Breathing here. If it's uncomfortable at all for any reason, just come out of the pose, either a little bit or all the way. Slowly make your way back to center, hands to the thighs or knees. And again, we'll lift the heart with the breath in and round as you exhale. See if you can stay really tuned into what you notice. How does your weight shift over your sit bones as you do this? How does your spine feel? What do you notice? What are you aware of? So it's not even so much what we do as we're practicing yoga, but how we do it. Okay, doing the postures and the movements in a way that support our bodies, not fight against our natural way of being. Honoring ourselves, and maybe even most importantly, paying attention. Really noticing what we're experiencing, how we're experiencing it as we move. Adjusting as necessary to stay comfortable. Okay, and then let's come back to the center. Let both arms come down to your sides and lift your spine tall. And then if you're on the floor, you can bring one hand to the floor. If you're on a chair, that hand to the chair. The other arm lifting up. You want to anchor both sit bones, maybe even widen your feet for good balance, and just a little bit to the side. So you really want to feel that both sit bones stay anchored. And coming back up, you can release that arm down. We'll lift and move to the side. And back up and down. So if you want to coordinate breath, inhale, lift. Exhale to the side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Otherwise, just move and breathe in a timing that feels right for you. If you like, you can hold a few breaths. If you prefer to keep moving, keep moving. And if you're holding, see if you can find a way of really breathing into and expanding that side of your body with your breath and intention. Not with your breath and tension, but intention. So intending the breath or sending the breath by your thoughts into that side. And then let's come back to center. Before we do the other side, a few rounds of inhale, arch, exhale, round. Rebalancing the body a little bit in between. And again, coming to a neutral spine. So you're on your sit bones. The spine is in its natural shape. So we're not rounded, we're not arched. And then bring your hand to the chair or the floor. Other arm hanging down. Sit bones anchored. And you'll lift up and reach up as you come to the side a little bit. Back to the center and down. So again, if you want, coordinate your breath. Inhale up. Exhale, reach up as you come over a little bit, back to center and down. So do a few more like that. Great. And this next time, again, if you like, you can hold. If it feels better to keep moving or come out of this posture, feel free to do that too. Staying as you breathe. And when you're ready, releasing, bringing the hands back to the thighs. And again, a little bit of that cat-cow movement to rebalance and align the spine. And then come back to center. So we did a breath technique some weeks ago, and we'll work on that again today. And so what I want to preface it with is that breath work that focuses on the inhalation tends to be more energizing. But if you're feeling tense or anxious, you might find that it is too energizing. And so you may just want to breathe normally through this next exercise. But if it feels comfortable to you and it's not a strain, you can try this 3-part inhale breath. So what happens is we're going to breathe in a little bit, pause, a little bit more, pause, and a little bit more. So that over those 3 sections, we're breathing in fully. And then we're going to exhale in one go. So when you breathe in, you want to make sure you don't breathe in too much at once. You're going to run out of space for your breath. So if you just breathe in a little, pause, breathe in a little more, pause, breathe in a little more, pause, and then exhale. All in one. So inhale, pause, 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 and exhale. Again. My pace is different from yours. Follow your own pace. You can do the hand movements if you like, but it's not necessary. We're going to add different arm movements in a moment. So one more breath. And then relax for a moment as I explain the arm movements. You might remember this from a few weeks ago, but when we breathe in the first bit, we're going to bring the arms straight out in front. The second bit, the arms go to the sides. And the third bit, the arms come overhead. And then the exhale, the arms come back down. So you can try it with me. Inhale, 1, inhale, 2, inhale, 3, and exhale. So do that a few more times. I'm going slower or faster than you want to go. Just adjust to your own pace. We'll make this the last one coming up. And then resting here for a moment. Just let the shoulders and arms relax. You can close your eyes if you like. And tune in, notice what you're aware of now. Again, you might notice your energy in your body, whether that's tingling or warmth, or however you feel energy in your body. Tuning in and noticing. So our human bodies, our human systems, they respond and react to the seasons just the way that the plants and animals do. But because we live in houses that are artificially heated and we wear clothing all the time, and I'm not suggesting that you don't, we lose contact with that sort of vital energy of the seasons. So we can tune back into it a little bit through our awareness. We're going to come to stand now. So take your time, especially if you've been down on the ground, take your time to come upright. And if you have a chair handy, it may be helpful for some of the standing poses today. And if not, you can always modify in a way that works for you. So first of all, just coming up to stand. And because we've been sitting for a while, and that tends to bring a little bit of tension around the hips, if we're not, I was going to say if we're not careful, but even if we're careful, even if we're sitting properly, just being in one spot for a period of time, our bodies don't really love that. So we're going to do a little movement with the hips, so feet apart. And you can bring your hands to your hips just to get them out of your way. Soften your knees and let the hips swing gently in a little circular motion. As always, I invite you to tune into what you notice. So for me, I notice that some parts of that circle are really smooth and feel really easeful, and then other parts are a little creakier or maybe not as comfortable. Not painful for me, but if it's painful for you, you might adjust and make your circle a little bit smaller and turn in the other direction as well. Right. And then let's come back to the center and bring the arms down to your sides. Again, keep your knees soft, and we'll draw one shoulder forward and back. And as it goes back, the other shoulder comes forward and back. Follow that movement in your own body. Let your hips swing. You can allow your head to go a little bit if that's comfortable for your neck. And just really tuning in. What do you notice as you do this movement? Right. And then try going the opposite direction so the shoulder comes forward, down, and back. And if you like, you can get the arms involved, maybe imagining you're swimming the front crawl. It's a little bit cold for outdoor swimming, but it won't be too long now. And then let's come back to the center. You can bring the feet in a little bit and give everything a bit of a shake, just to release any tension. And then I'd like to invite you to come back to that 3-part breath if it felt comfortable for you, but absolutely let it go if it didn't feel comfortable for you. You can just do this in one inhale, one exhale. So we're going to, and I'm going to do this forward bit with a forward bend. I'm going to use the chair. So you can watch for a second if you're looking at the screen. So again, we're going to inhale 1, inhale 2, inhale 3rd part, and then exhale, come forward. So I'm bringing my hands to the chair. If it's better for you, you can bring your hands to your thighs, or you can do a deeper forward bend if you like. So whatever works for you. Knees are soft, especially in the forward bend. So again, it's inhale a little more, and then exhale, come forward. And then we'll inhale to the center, to the sides, overhead, and exhale forward. Inhale 1, 2, 3, exhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. And one more. If you start feeling dizzy or lightheaded, just stop the deeper breathing. Breathe normally. And then come forward with your hands either to your chair or to your thighs. Again, soften your knees. And again, we'll work with the cat-cow here. This is a bit different from when we're sitting because now the legs are involved. So there's a little stretch in the hamstrings as you tilt the pelvis up, head lifts slightly, chest forward, and then rounding the back, letting the head come down. Inhale, arching, so you can do this with hands on the knees or hands on a chair or a counter or table, whatever's handy, as long as you're comfortable. Great. And then let's come into a little more of a forward bend. Again, really tuning in as long as it's comfortable for you. So if you're on a chair, you might bring your elbows down, bend your knees a little more, or elbows to your thighs. So find a way of getting comfortable here for a few breaths. Try to let your head relax. Neck soft. Right. And then as you're ready, bring the hands back to the knees or the chair. Soften the knees. Inhale all the way up with the breath in. And exhale to release. So we'll do something similar, but now with one foot ahead of the other, which is going to target the hamstrings a little bit more. So this is kind of like the stance for warrior, but shorter. So in warrior, we might take the feet a little further apart. Here, it's just a small amount. So if you imagine that you were walking one foot in front of the other, that's about how far you want to be. So not far. And then take your back foot and turn it out. And that's just going to give you a little bit more balance. Front foot can face forward. Now this front knee can slightly bend as we come into this position. So we're going to lift up with the breath in. Right, and then either come forward to bring your hands to your knee or to your chair. Coming until you feel a stretch that feels good in the back of that front leg. And then lifting up. So we'll come up with the breath in. Come forward as you exhale. If you want more stretch for that leg, you can move it a little straighter or think about lifting your tail a little bit. So coming up and going forwards. Again, you can stay for a few breaths. So if you want a deeper stretch, maybe coming down a little lower. You know, it's really so dependent on how this works for you as to how tall your chair is, how long your body is, how long your legs are. So there's no particular way you want to be here. You just want to feel that nice stretch, especially in the front knee, the front leg, sorry, back of the front leg. And if you want, you can rock a little bit. So you're moving the legs straighter, bending a little bit. Right. And then let's come all the way up. So if your hands are on your thigh or a chair, you're going to lift all the way up. Good. And then bring your hands down. So now we'll take the hands behind the back. If it's possible, you can interlace your fingers. If that's uncomfortable for you, just arms back or even bending your arms, perhaps holding your wrist. So the idea is you want to keep this part of the body open and you're going to slowly come forward. So your back is going to work a little bit. If you find that you're straining, release your hands, bring them to your thigh. See if you can find a position, chest lifting. You can come even further forward. So we're working to strengthen the back a little bit. You can also come back to hands to the chair if that feels like that's a better option. So wherever you are, we'll lift up. Bring the feet together, release the arms. Great. And pause for just a moment so you can tune in and notice what you feel in your body, what you're aware of, how one leg and hip feels compared with the other. My left leg, which was forward, it feels about an inch or two longer than my right leg now. You might have a similar or different experience. And then we'll try the other side. So I find in my body when I start lengthening the muscles, I feel taller, I feel more energized, I feel more alive. So really invite you to tune into what happens for you as you stretch. And I have to say, if you overstretch, your body tends to resist and it can create a lot of tension. So we're just really trying to find that nice, easy edge and working with what our body allows us to do with enough ease. Right? So a little bit of bend in the front knee. We're going to lift up with the breath in. Come forward, either hands to the knee or the chair as you breathe out. And again, lifting and coming forward. It's time, if you like, you can stay. Again, you can play around with how much can I straighten that front leg and enjoy the stretch, and then bend it to release. Move it straighter again. And then with the knee slightly bent, we'll come all the way up again. Release the arms down. Again, arms can come back. So you're either just reaching back or interlacing your fingers, or you can support on the leg or the chair if you need to. So lifting the heart, coming forward until you feel the muscles of your back having to work. So when we come forward, these muscles here, all down the hips, thighs, lower back, engage to hold us here. If it feels like a strain, and it might, if there's weakness there, which many of us have weak lower backs, support yourself, but keep that sense of lifting. Even come up a little bit so there's less effort, to find that point where there's effort, but it's not strain. And then release to come upright, release the arms, bring the feet together. And again, let's just give the body a little shake and release. And then we'll come to another forward bend. So after the asymmetrical work, we want to even out the hips again and the spine. So you can use a chair or your own body to support you as you breathe in, coming up, and exhaling forward. So at your own pace, in your own way that feels best to you. Lots of options here to personalize. If you like, you can stay in the forward bend for a few breaths. So again, it could be hands on the chair, hands on the thighs, or rounding forward and hanging. Always with the caution of head above your heart, above the level of your heart. If you have high blood pressure, or any other issues of pressure, sinus, ears, eyes, being cautious. And then as you're ready, again, we'll come all the way up, breathing in, and exhale to release. So if you're using a chair, you can move it out of the way now. And we'll make our way down to the floor. So you can come down onto your back. And let's just start with a little bit of the breath awareness again. So feet on the floor. You can stretch your legs out if it's more comfortable. For me, I find when my knees are bent, my lower back feels a little bit more supported. It's totally up to you though. And bring your hands onto your body. Let's start to tune into the rhythm and the flow of your own unique breath. Feel yourself relax into the support of the ground. So earlier I mentioned that we get energized, right, partly through making sure that we are well rested. So if you're someone who tends to just push through and not take the rest you need, kind of like me, then you know how important it is to really give yourself a little bit of space. At least this is what I've learned over the years, that I can push myself so much and then I need to rest. So let's just take this moment together. Notice where you're holding tension, soften where you can, tune into your breath, and allow your body to rest. And keep working with the legs a little bit here. So bring one knee in toward the chest. And notice how that lengthens and draws the lower back down toward the ground. It's your option here. We're going to work with this one leg for a bit. Your option here is, as you stretch the leg out, you can let the hands come to your body. And then back to your knee as the knee comes in. That's best for you. Or if it works for you, you might raise your arms over your head as you stretch the leg out. And then bring the hands to the knee as the knee comes in. So tune into what would feel best for you. So either just letting the hands relax to the body and then back to the knee. And that's going to help if you have shoulders that maybe aren't wanting to reach overhead from the ground today. If your shoulders feel happy, you can reach up, maybe even bend the elbows to honor whatever is going on. And then this time when the knee comes into the chest, hold it there. If you've got the opposite knee bent, you can go ahead and straighten it. Press down with your heel. If this is uncomfortable, just bend the knee again. So it's always a suggestion, whatever I offer. This can be a little bit challenging for some, so tune into your body. If you've straightened the leg, keep it active. So a little bit pulling up on the thigh, pressing down with the heel. And then let's release the knee that's into the chest. Bring both feet to the ground. Pause again, tune into your breath. And then we'll bring the other knee in. So again, you can hug the knee here for a few breaths. If it's not comfortable holding over your knee, hold behind your thigh. If that's not comfortable, you might even just take a hold the side of your pants or whatever is comfortable. Okay. And again, you have the option as we straighten and bring the knee back into the body is to either just let the hands rest as you stretch out and then come back to the knee, or you can raise your arms to the sides or overhead with bent or straight arms and then back in. A few more, following what feels best in your body. And then holding that knee or holding behind the thigh, you can, if it feels comfortable for you, you can extend the other leg, press down into the heel, engage the thigh, hold here, a couple more breaths. Right, and then letting your foot come to the floor and bend the other knee so both feet are on the ground. Let your arms come to the floor a little bit away from your body. If it's comfortable, palms can face the ceiling, otherwise whatever feels good for you. And then lining your heels up underneath your knees, getting ready for a gentle bridge pose. So your bridge could be as gentle as just pressing into your feet till the tailbone lifts a little and then releasing. And if you want more, you can keep pressing into your feet and lift maybe the hips off the ground and come down. And if you still want more, you can press into your feet, lift the hips, and maybe also lift the lower back off the ground and release. So easing into that bridge pose, maybe lifting a little higher this time if that feels right for you. And we'll keep lifting and lowering a few more times. Again, really tuning into what your body feels good with, how much lift. And then perhaps if it feels right for you, you might stay for a few breaths. The energy of your legs. The legs are doing most of the work here. Feel your legs working if you're holding the pose. If not, that's fine. Just come down and rest. If rest is what your body is more needing right now and strength, then listen and honor that. And if you're still up in bridge, you can slowly release down. When you get to the ground, pause and really appreciate that rest, that letting go. And if you can tune into that release of effort, like really softening, you can really appreciate that letting go. And then when you're ready, you can bring your knees up toward your chest, place one hand on each knee, and draw the knees away from you and back towards you. If you want to coordinate breathing here, inhale as you make space for the breath, move the knees away. Exhale as you draw in, squeeze the breath out. And then gradually bringing your feet to the ground. Having your feet either together or a little bit apart for the twist, whatever you find most conducive to a good twist for you. Arms out to the sides. And we'll start by just rocking the knees a couple of inches each way. So you're kind of rocking your weight across the sacrum, which is that flattish part of the back of your spine that you feel on the ground when you're lying like this. If your sacrum is, depends on the shape. If it's flatter, it might be more comfortable. If you're not comfortable, if there's some pressure on your sacrum that doesn't feel good, a blanket under the hips can make a world of difference. And then if it feels good for you, instead of just rocking a little bit side to side, you can let the knees go down a little bit more. Maybe right to the ground if that's comfortable for you, or wherever your body says that's enough. And then you come back to center. Go the other way. And again, really take your time. Don't worry about your breathing here. Just keep breathing. Really tune in when your body says that's enough. You'll reverse and come back to the center. So you go side to side a few times. Really encourage you to move slowly here, not worry about how you're breathing. If you want to take a breath or two, in each position to the side. You're welcome to do that if it feels better for your body to keep moving, then just keep on moving. Right, and then eventually making your way back to the center. You can lift your hips up a little if you like to bring things back to feeling equal on both sides of your spine and hips. And then again, knees to chest. So here, the invitation is to stretch the legs up. The hands can rest on the thighs or come to the body, or again, reach overhead and then back into the body. So whatever movement works for your arms, great. The legs can stretch toward the ceiling and then bend toward the chest. If you want a little bit more stretch, as the legs go up, press the heels toward the ceiling and then relax the feet as they come down. Okay. If you're comfortable enough here with the legs in the air, you can stay there. You can fold the legs if you like. You can certainly bend them. You can support your thighs, whatever works for you, so that it's not too much effort. There's some effort in holding the legs up, but you don't want to feel strained. You especially don't want to feel like your lower back is straining or your hips are straining or anything really. So can you find a position here where you can relax even a little bit? And then you can cross your ankles over, let the knees come to the side. A little side to side rocking movement here. All right, and then we'll stretch back up. Notice which ankle you crossed in front, and then we'll cross the other way and bend. You can support your knees with your hands and rock a little side to side. Okay, and then once more, stretch the legs, uncrossing. And separate the feet a little bit, circle your ankles around. This one's really nice when, if your legs and feet are tired, to let the blood drain back toward the heart with gravity. And when you move the ankles around, it helps to kind of pump the blood back. Right, and then you can give your legs a little shake. And the knees come in, giving yourself maybe a little squeeze here, perhaps a little movement. So again, it's always so important to listen to what your body says. For me, this feels really good. If it doesn't feel good for you, then you might bring your feet to the floor or just stay still here or move the knees back and forth. So you're looking to find a way to feel as comfortable as possible with this position. Otherwise, you're going to come out of it at any time. All right, when your feet come back to the floor, you can stretch your legs out on the ground. Press down with your heels, toes point toward the ceiling. The arms can reach to the sides and reach overhead. Nice big breaths here. Squeeze the hips, squeeze the buttocks, squeeze the belly, squeeze the legs, press down. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, if you've lifted the arms, bring them down, relax the hips, the buttocks, the thighs, the feet, the legs. Let your body rest here for a moment. You might, again, tune into the feeling of energy. Are you able to feel energy in your body? And if so, what does it feel like? As I mentioned earlier, for me, it feels like tingling or sometimes warmth. Might feel quite different for you. So see what you notice. What are you aware of? And if you're not comfortable in this position, please change. We're going to move into Shavasana now. So if you want to change position or if you need to cover up with a blanket to be comfortable, if you prefer to sit, always fine. So I invite you to take a moment or two to find a comfortable lying or seated position that you can relax in for the next several minutes. So take your time to settle, take your time to adjust and to move and to really feel yourself supported by the earth. Remember, in order to feel energized, we need to feel rested. We need to feel supported. So finding that place where you can let go, where your body can rest, you can let go of the effort of the practice and really fully soften and surrender. And then once you find that position, I invite you to tune back into your breath, but this time put a little more focus on your exhalation. So you might be aware of the feeling of dropping into the earth as you exhale. Allow that feeling through your body, from your head to your fingertips to your toes, softening and letting go. So when we come into spring season, we move from a solid state, the snow and ice, into a liquid state of water, breezes, and warmth. So as you breathe, see if you can tune into that liquid flow of warmth and warm air, movement, the grass growing, and that feeling of things coming to life, your body coming to life, your cells coming to life. Continue to feel that softening every time you exhale and drop down. And then if this idea appeals to you, you might imagine your favorite image from spring. So that might be a tulip opening. It might be a river flowing. It might be the sun in the sky. So if it appeals to you, find some image from spring. Maybe it's the Easter bunny. Just bring that into your mind, holding that image, that symbol of spring. And as you breathe, imagine you're sending that image of spring into your cells with your breath, sending it through your body. This feeling that comes to you as you focus on this image of spring, sending it to your toes. Breathing it right down the soles of your feet, right to your toes. And your legs alivened with this spring energy. As if you could breathe that spring energy right down into your legs, into your calves, your knees, your thighs. Filling your legs with spring, the energy of spring. And then breathing that energy of spring into the area of the hips and pelvis. Sending it into your belly and lower back. Breathing this energy of spring into your chest and upper back, into your shoulders. Breathing the energy of spring into your arms now, from the shoulders to the elbows, elbows to wrists, wrists to hands. Breathing, sending energy right to your fingertips. Your symbol of spring filling you up. Feeling that energy of spring in your throat, your neck, your face, your jaw, all through your head, right to your crown. Breathing that energy of spring from the toes to the fingers to the top of your head, filling yourself with spring energy. And if that feels challenging to you today, just simply breathe and honor what's true for you, whatever that might be. I'll share with you this morning a chant that honors an ancient river in India called the Saraswati River that's no longer in existence, but was a very important river at the time. It flowed through the country. And you can listen to this chant and continue to feel this flow of spring in your own body. Breathing that flowing energy into your body. Prabhu Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhir Vajanivati Dhinama Vitriavatu Om Prabhu Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhir Vajanivati Dhinama Vitriavatu Om Prabhu Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhir Vajanivati Dhinama Vitriavatu Om. Again, breathing a little bit more deeply as long as that's comfortable for you. Feeling that spring energy from head to toe in whatever way you experience that. Whether that's a strong, vibrant feeling or maybe it's just a little tiny bit somewhere in your body, but feel where you can feel the energy of spring. And from that place, from that energy that we've been working with through the class today, through Shavasana, gradually start to deepen your breath add a little movement as you're ready. Move and stretch in any way that would feel good. If you're waking up from a long winter nap, energized by the sun, the rain, the flow, the breeze, finding your way into movement, and then gradually, if you're ready, so you're always welcome to stay in Shavasana a little longer if that suits you. But if you're ready, you can roll to your side and start to think about making your way upright to sit. And if you come upright, feel that sense of uprightness, that dropping down through the sit bones, lifting through the crown of the head. You are not separate from nature. You are made of the exact same stuff as everything else that's coming to life right now in the outside world. We are a reflection. We are that. We are not different. So bring your palms together at your heart. Feel that spring energy in whatever way it expresses for you today in this moment. And I really encourage and invite you to get outside and enjoy, to really feel the spring sun on your face at some point, maybe every day this week if possible. Namaste.